The future will not be held in your hand, and it won't be on your face either. The future of technology might almost be invisible. Agree. Sorry, this is my wife. I'm gonna have to get this. Hello?
Hey, babe.
Hey, Bethany. How's it going?
Good. Are you with Ted?
Yeah, I'm on the red circle right now, actually.
Oh, great.
Shalom. I would like to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakudash. I would like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all you sincere Akim, pushing this word across the four corners of the world. I have an article from AndroidHeadlines.com, and the title says, Humane Demos is new AI-powered wearable. And this was published on April the 24th, 2023. And before I get into this article, for the ones of us who are in the know, we already know this is leading into this fourth industrial revolution, aka Esau's left-hand NWO. And one of the main current pioneers for this fourth industrial revolution by the name of Klaus Schwab, who is also the founder and the executive chairman for the World Economic Forum, he stated the fourth industrial revolution will affect the very essence of our human experience. And the reason being, they want to merge human and machine, and what they classify as the two frontiers of emerging technologies, which pretty much this article is going into. And it says, after months of teasing, Humane, the startup founded by former Apple designer Imran Chaudhry and Bethany Bajorno, has finally demoed its first wearable device, which utilizes artificial intelligence, AI, and a projected display to operate as a personal assistant. Inspired by the Star Trek communicator, the new device can project a screen on any nearby surface and can function on its own without needing to pair with another device. During a TED Talk, Chaudhry wore the device in his chest pocket and used voice commands to control it, similar to how one would interact with a smart speaker. He further demonstrated the device's capabilities by receiving a call, which the device projected onto his hand. And it says translation functionality and object recognition. And we already know through the spirit what this is all leading into. Revelation the 13th chapter, the 16th verse. And he calls it all. So this artificial intelligence device can be able to display call information like a phone, but it's going to be as a projection on your hand. And they're making a lot of hype that this could be the replacements of smartphones. As I brought out earlier, this is all phasing into this fourth industrial revolution, where this is all leading into this electronic device mentioned in Revelation 13 verse 16, the Karama, and how they plan for the actual human being to become the smartphone. But they have the nerve to call this company Humane, which goes into compassionate, intended to have a civilizing or refining effect upon people. But more so, it's actually inhumane, which ultimately goes into the brutish and beastly ways of Esau Edom and his beast system that he's going to institute globally. And let's get right quick, the book of Job 14 verse 4. And it says, who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. Like, for example, Esau Edom, his uncivilized, untamed, brutish, and beastly nature cannot be altered because Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai preordained the tabernacle of Esau Edom to be in this particular fashion. And that's exactly why he's classified within Romans the 9th chapter as that vessel of dishonor, which goes into that vessel of immorality, that vessel of indecency, that vessel of sin, that vessel of fornication. And that's by fulfilling the true purpose and the counsel of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai via biblical prophecies. And that's because the tabernacle of Edom, mainly the nobility of them, has to be here in today's time to introduce globally Revelation 13 verse 16. So going back to what I mentioned earlier, how they call this company Humane, but it's nothing truly or purely humane about this, about the merging of human and machine, which is something that the true man of sin will be doing in these last days. Let's get right quick. Hebrews 12 verse 16, lest there be any fornicator, which goes into a sinful, corrupted, unprincipled, evil person, or profane person as Esau. And the reason why he's profane, meaning spiritually unclean, because he's that vessel already preordained or pre-designed to be that vessel of dishonor. He's the ultimate can't get right. And that's why it says in Daniel, the 12th chapter, how none of the wicked should understand. And that's beginning with the tabernacle of Esau Edom. It's nothing that we can do to have him to change into a moral, principle, or disciplined person. We cannot resist the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. And this is what the so-called powers that be, left-hand science and technology, is all about. Tapping in as much as they can, so therefore they can overthrow us by acquiring that blessing. And that's exactly why Esau stated, for the days of my father are ahead, then will I slay my brother Jacob. They ultimately want the Israelites to separate from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and become one with him, Esau Edom, along with his science and technology. Verse 17, for ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. And just speaking as a man, it will make much sense that Esau himself is back here again trying to obtain this blessing. Whoever he may be from the so-called powers that be, from the nobility of Esau Edom. And that's through the process of reincarnation. All right, so back to the article. It says, translation functionality and object recognition. One of the most exciting features of the new Humane wearable is its translation function. Chari showed how it works by speaking a sentence and then waiting for the device to read out the same sentence in French. Although not something new, it could be helpful for users who don't want to go through the hassle of translating their sentences with a smartphone. Additionally, the device also includes a camera that can identify objects in the world around it. We like to say that the experience is screenless, seamless, and sensing, allowing you to access the power of compute while remaining present in your surroundings, fixing a balance that's felt out of place for some time now, says Chari. While Humane's first attempt at creating a wearable is commendable, considering the device is relatively compact, screenless, and doesn't require connection to a smartphone, it's unclear how well the gadget will perform in real-life scenarios and whether users will trade their smartphones for a greenish projection. When asked, Chari also admitted that it will take some time before users start abandoning their phones for devices like these. And just going through different comments regarding this topic, you did have a lot of people being wild and looking forward to these so-called mind-bending developments. But the scriptures clearly tells us not to follow the path of the wicked. And let's get right quick. 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter and the 8th verse. And this is in the NLT. And it says, then the man of lawlessness will be revealed. That's linking up with Hebrews, the 12th chapter and the 16th verse. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau. Esau is classified as that man of sin or that man of lawlessness because he's that vessel of wrath fitted for destruction. The so-called powers that be that come from the nobility of Esau Edom are only fulfilling these evil devices or wicked inventions is to fulfill the counsel of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And within his brutish or beastly nature, and while he's globally introducing this beast system, he's being revealed. In Jeremiah 49:10, he stated through the Spirit, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he should not be able to hide himself. So therefore, it's a spiritual scopeo upon the tabernacle of Edom, and more so the nobility of them. And that's exactly why they are being searched out via the prophets and also the whistleblowers that was amongst Esau Edom in these last days. So it says, then a man of lawlessness will be revealed, but the Lord Yahushua will kill him with the breath of his mouth. Spiritually, that's by the mouth of his holy prophets. And destroy him by the splendor of his coming. Remember, when Yahushua returns via his second arrival, he's not going to meet thee as a man. He's going to be waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And pursuant to Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, his glory covered the heavens via the chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the so-called UFOs. Verse 9, this man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. Just like how this article is going into, how this artificial intelligence device can display call information like a phone, but as a projection upon your hand. And very soon, all of this is going to become more physical, and how it's going to be an electronic device implanted into a person. So it says right here, this man, referring to the tabernacle of Esau, Edom, and more so the higher ups of them. So this man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. So all of his so-called mind-bending developments, his so-called scientific breakthroughs that they say will change the way of life as we currently know it, they portray this fourth industrial revolution to be innovative, fast, economical, and very convenient, which is going to appease the masses of the people. And they're going to be wowed by this so-called left-hand technology. That's why it says right here in verse 10, he will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction. Again, Proverbs 4:14, enter not into the path of the wicked and go not into the way of evil men. And the only ones who are going to be spiritually geared with that mindset is the elect of the nation of Israel. So it says he will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction. And Esau's deception is a part of his sword, that left-hand blessing, which is why it goes into Genesis, the 3rd chapter, how that serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. So he's very crafty and artful in his deception via his laws, speeches, his technology, his science, his democracy, and the list goes on. It says, because they refuse to love and accept the truth that will save them. Verse 11, so Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua will cause them to be greatly deceived. That's by sending them strong delusions, including 2/3 of our people. And they will believe these lies. Like, for example, Esau creates these GMOs, which ultimately breaks your body down, weakens your immune system. You be more vulnerable to these various diseases. And that's why a lot of people be having Alzheimer's. All of these different harmful metals in your brain, from the air you're breathing, the water that you're drinking, or the food that you're eating. And that will lead a person to all these different diseases. So here comes this serpent Esau with his solution, aka the Karama. And by you having a family member or a loved one that has this particular disease, if they take this electronic device, then they will be so-called safe and will be easily trackable if they ever wander off. And that's just one of the many devices or tactics that Esau is going to use. So right here it says, so Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua will cause them to be greatly deceived, and they will believe these lies. And the consequences of that in verse 12, then they will be condemned for enjoying evil rather than believing the truth. But the even more spiritual thing about this, you have a group of people referring to the elect that's going to follow Yahushua whithersoever he goeth, and not following to the ways of Esau, Edom, and his so-called fourth industrial revolution. And let's close it with Revelation 20:4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Heavenly Father Yahweh. So that witness goes into that testimony. And you go deeper into the word testimony, it goes into a declaration of truth, which is referring to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua only gave this divine understanding to, and which had not worshipped the beast. And this beast is a wayward system that was created by men that's patterned after the pagan Roman Empire, trickling on down to NATO and the EU. And you best believe America, also known as Babylon the Great, is definitely a part of this wayward system. So neither his image, neither have received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they live and reign with Yahushua 1,000 years. And the elect are the true humane ones, because again, once you go into the word humane, it goes into compassionate, merciful. As it says in Isaiah 14:1, for the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. And that's beginning with the hopeful elect, the ones who have that true testimony within these latter days. So going back to the title of this article, Humane demos its new AI-powered wearable. So with that, hopefully you all was edified. You all stay strong, keep pushing forward. Shalom.